Joe McCall here, and I'm using a brand new tool called Ecamm Live to broadcast to the Facebook group. So this is day number 1 of the Land Marketing Bootcamp, and I'm just checking sure to make sure I'm live, and I am. So very good. I'm going to pin this to the top of the group here. Glad you guys are here, and if you are here, please type in the Zoom chat, or not Zoom, the Facebook chat right now. Type in the chat, say hello. Let me know you're here so I can see you. Awesome. There's Facebook user. Now, one of the tricky things about this is I'm not going to be able to see your name. So I'll have to figure this out, because maybe when I go live later on, I'm going to give you a link that you can click that lets me view you. Now, Rich, hey, Rich, how you doing, man? So most of you guys, all I see is just Facebook user. So I'll have to figure that out, but we're all good. So there will be a link that lets Ecamm Live, the tool I'm using, see your name and see who you are. And I don't have that with me right now. I'm texting my assistant right now. Okay, so I'm trying something new. Maybe this will work, maybe it won't. Ah, here we go. There's Jesse. What's up, Jesse? Oh, and okay, so this is going out. You can see me on YouTube. Well, cool. I'm glad you guys are in YouTube. I wasn't intending to put this out on YouTube, but that's all right. What this is, oh, well, all right. So what this is, how do I, hold on a second, guys. I need to know how to remove my chat. I'll just do that. Okay. So, this is the Land Marketing Bootcamp. Welcome. And I'm live. I'm using a new platform here called Ecamm, which allows me to switch cameras like this and also share my desktop like this with just a click of the button, which I'm excited about. And so if you guys are watching this on YouTube, all this is right now is just a little 15-minute training I'm going to do on mindset. And then I'm actually going to go live to the group teaching day 1's content of the Land Marketing Bootcamp. So if you guys are watching this right now on YouTube or my other Facebook channels, if you go to landmarketingbootcamp.com, you can get some more information, because we go live in about an hour and a half on day 1's module. Okay, day 1's module. Let me share with you a little bit here what I've got. If you are seeing my screen right now, this is the Land Marketing Bootcamp Mastermind Map. And so every morning for this week, I'm going to be going live teaching about mindset just for about 15 minutes. And then day 1, which starts, I think, at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. I'm going to be going live teaching this content on leads. Because I surveyed my list. And I said, hey, what is the biggest problem, biggest challenge that you guys have? And the biggest challenge everybody said they had was, number 1, not getting enough leads, not having the leads, or, not getting the leads because they don't have the money to spend on all of this marketing that needs to happen. So I said, well, let's do a boot camp. Let's fix that problem really quickly and easily here. And so that's what my goal is. And so day 1, I'm going to be talking about market research. Day 2, I'm going to be talking about getting the seller lists. Day 3, I'm going to be talking about sending out the marketing, the free version, the cheap version, and the premium version. Then I have 2 bonus days. Every day I'm going live teaching this stuff about 45 minutes long. How to make fast offers, and I have a new software I'm going to be demonstrating and showing you. And I'm going to be showing you how to get all the money you could need for your deals. My money, other people's money. I'm going to show you how to get OPM, other people's monies, and it's way easier than you might think. So in this boot camp, I am going to be making it really, really easy, showing you how to do this. Oh, and you couldn't see my mind map. Shoot, there you go. Well, this is what I was showing you in the mind map. this is the stuff I'm going to be teaching. All right. Now you can get all of this for just $37 if you go to landmarketingbootcamp.com, landmarketingbootcamp.com. Let me move this thing over here into this corner. All right. And you get it all there. So check it out right now. Now, my goal today, let me just make sure again, we are live in the Facebook group. Oh, good, we are. And we got a bunch of people watching. Check this out. Again, I can just click the button and you can see my screen. Isn't this cool? So you can see I'm right here and you guys are typing in down below. Good. Dana is here. Dana's our rock star assistant. Okay, cool. All right. Hopefully I can get this to work. I'm excited about this, just talking to you guys about a few things here. Now, let me share my mind map because I think this will make it good. You guys see that okay? Let me make my zoom out a little bit here so I can. I want you guys to be able to see my mugshot there. Okay, so my goal in this boot camp, guys, is really and I was talking a lot about this to myself. I was thinking a lot about this. Is like if I had to start all over from scratch, what would I do? And I'm going to be talking a lot about this in my YouTube content, in my Facebook stuff, in my podcasts over the next few months. If I had to start all over from scratch, what would I do? And this is a great exercise for those of you that are even doing deals right now, thinking about the basic stuff, like the basic elemental things. Because if you want to be successful in this business, you need to be really, really good at the basic things. I call it being brilliant at the basics. And if you want to be brilliant at the basics, you've got to do this stuff and you got to understand it. All right, my team is texting me images here. All right, never mind. I need just to turn my texting off. Let's do that. So what would I do if I had to go into a brand new market, start all over from scratch? Well, I would go into a new market. I would find out where the demand is. I would start talking to sellers and buyers, and I would start making offers. That's it. So the goal of my boot camp that I'm doing here is I'm going to teach you all of this stuff, and I'm going to give you an opportunity at the end to work with me so you can do the same thing. I'm going to show you the easiest and fastest way to success is by getting a mentor where you can just replicate our success, take my business in a box. I can hold your hand. I can coach you through the entire process, give you accountability, and partner with you on deals. So I'm going to be showing you how to do land deals throughout this boot camp. That's my goal. Now, mindset and perspective is so important because if you get this wrong and you get in your head, it's very, very hard and difficult to get out of that, okay? So I want you guys right now to write down some objections. Why do you think, I'm going to do this, I don't know, normally I do this differently. I'm going to do it this way now. I want you guys to write down, why do you think this couldn't work? And then we're going to write down, if this does actually work, how can it actually change your life? So what are some of your biggest objections to real estate investing? Land or houses or what? What are some of your biggest struggles, your biggest pain points? Why do you think this stuff wouldn't work? My goal is to obliterate all your objections and these doubts that you've got nagging in your head of why this wouldn't work. Okay, so write that down right now. In the Facebook, as you're watching this, or in YouTube as you're watching this. By the way, those of you that did pay for the bootcamp, I just have to explain. Only this first mindset training is being broadcast to the YouTube group. I did it by accident. We're going to start with the meat and potatoes content in about an hour and a half, and that'll be just to our private Facebook group. So the freebies who are on YouTube will not see this later, okay? So anyway, write down what are some of your biggest struggles, your biggest pain points, and why do you think, what's going on in your head, why you think this wouldn't work? You know, some common objections I see is like, will this work for me? Do I need lots of money to get started? How do you sell houses or deals virtually without seeing it? How do you get boots on the ground? Do you have to have a realtor's license? I don't have the time. I tried this before and I failed. I spent too much money in my education. I've not made any progress. I'm overwhelmed with information overload, analysis paralysis. What if the seller says yes? What if it works? What if I make a costly mistake or make a bad offer? What if I've never done a deal before, and I don't have any credibility. I don't know what I'm doing. Coaching is too expensive. Do I really do what we teach? Am I really doing deals? That's a big question people have. And sometimes it's just like, man, am I going to get scammed again? So write down right now into the Facebook comments, what are some of your biggest objections? And I'm going to go in and see if I can get the comments to show, because I had them up here and now I don't see them. So not sure what happened. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out later. Ah, there. Okay, hold on. Now I see where I can see. Oh, there's a way to view the comments and I don't see it. Ah, there it is. Oh, I love it. Okay, here we go. Marketing costs. Let me switch cameras here. So the cost of marketing. Good. We're going to be talking about that here, right? My objections would be knowledge of real estate investing and finances. My day job is holding me back. Maybe it's good that these people are anonymous. Everything I just said, the changing economy. Okay, if I'm frozen, I don't think I'm frozen everybody else, so just maybe refresh your page or whatever. Time, finances, good leads. I don't have a lot of cash to do deals. Yes, you will get the Bootcamp mind map. Good morning, Joe. Let's do this. Keep on typing in the comments down. Yep, what you said. Here we go. Friends and family telling you not to do it or telling you that you can't do it. Marketing costs. Finding a market that's not saturated. Oh, I wonder if you think that markets are actually saturated, but what if they aren't? What if they're not? Getting yelled at by property owners that don't respond well. I get it. Analysis paralysis and fear. Is this actually scalable? It'll take too long to sell deals in this market. Oh, man, this is really good. I appreciate you guys being honest with me, too. It's difficult to comp properties. I get it. Okay. All right, cool. So, afraid to promise a seller a price and then not be, come on here, and not be able to then purchase the property. All right, I love it. Now that you've written that down, guys, I want you to do something else here, okay? Let me go to my screen. Here we go. I want you to write down how this business could actually change your life. What do you want your life to look like in 3 months from now? 6 months, 12 months. I want you to write this down. This is really important because you've got those doubts kind of lingering in your head, and we're not ignoring them. But I want to write down like the what if. What if? I want you to dream a little bit. What if this actually does work? What if you can actually do deals? And what if you could actually do deals and do enough deals that you could quit your job? You could, oh man, that Facebook. I got to get this thing figured out. Boom, there you go. What if this stuff, so write it down. What's your big why? Why are you in this? There's two things I want you to write down, okay? Write down number one. What do you want? Oh, this is it. Number one, I want you to write down, what do you want your life to look like in, I don't know, 3 months from now, in 6 months, 12 months from now? What do you want your life to look like? And then I want you to write down real quick, what's your big why? Why do you want your life to look like that? Maybe it's your family, it's your kids, you want to quit your job. Maybe it's just you want to have some money. You can buy your in-laws a house so they can get out of your house. You can buy them another home, right? What's your big why? Why do you want this stuff? Write that down in the Facebook comments, would you please? Just a couple sentences. Don't spend too much time thinking about it. All right, you want cash flow. This is good. Oh, come on now. Cash flow, nice. Every time I pay for mentors, they only coach early in the day, so I feel like I've wasted my money because I don't get out of work until 3 p.m. Okay, interesting. Automated income for retirement and building legacy wealth for my family. I love this. Retiring my wife 9 to 5 so she can join me in land flipping. Love it. Be full-time and have time freedom to spend time with my family. That's my thing. That's my big why. Time freedom. I don't care as much about the money necessarily, although it's nice. Money's good. I care more about the time. Having more time that I can spend with my family. We can go travel around the world. I can take a vacation whenever I want. I can work whenever I want. Right now, I look like I'm dressed professionally and nice, right? But I am wearing pants. But I'm wearing flippers or slippers, like, bedtime slippers right now. And I like them because they're comfortable. Now, I don't know what I would do if I had to go into an office and wear regular shoes. I wear flip-flops during the summer, and during the winter, I wear slippers. Now, I do wear socks. But I don't wear socks with my flip-flops. Anyway, for me, my big why is time freedom. I want to be able to work when I want, where I want. And I want to spend more time with my family. I only got my kids for 18, 19 years each, right? And then they're going to be off. I got my wife for the rest of my life, thank God. But I don't want to, for me, and this is my big why, and I'm just sharing this as inspiration maybe for you guys. It's like, my big why is if I got a pink slip, I was always just 1 or 2 paychecks away from bankruptcy. I was always had enough. I never had enough money at the end of the week, or at the end of the paycheck, right? So I wanted to have something where if I did get fired on my job, and I quit in 2009, but if I did get fired, I would have another way to make money. I didn't want my destiny to be controlled or in the hands of my employer. I was a civil engineer working for a big contractor building power plants. And I wanted to be able to know that if I got fired or if I decided to quit my job or something happened, I had a way to make extra money. I had a skill that I could use. And I wanted to be able to spend time with my family. So we homeschool our kids. And when I finally did quit my job, we were able to 3 times go to Europe for 2 to 3 months at a time and live there while homeschooling our kids and while I was running my business. Why? Because we could. That's why. No other reason. Let's just show our kids, instead of teaching them ancient Greek history, let's take them to Athens. Instead of just teaching them about Rome, let's take them to the Colosseum in Rome, right? Let's go, let's go to Prague. We spent a bunch of time. We lived in Prague, Czech Republic pretty much, and then traveled from there. So I've done deals literally in probably 5 or 6 different countries, done deals in the United States from 5 or 6 different countries. And then when we were back home, we decided, let's buy an RV. Let's go for 3 months through the northwestern corner of the United States. And, instead of teaching kids about biology and science, let's go do a bunch of nature walks and hiking in the national parks and learn about science and biology and all of that from the park rangers and stuff like that. So for me, that was it. I didn't want to travel the world when I'm retired and in my 60s and my kids are out of the house and, they have their own kids and it's going to be hard for them to, for all of us to get together. Let's do it now. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That is my husband's and dream for our family. That's awesome. Thank you guys. This is what I want. Time with my family has always been my biggest why. You're right. I want to do what I want when I want. Time freedom. All right. Yes. Okay. Flippers are flip-flop slippers. I don't know what they are yet. Helping my family, helping the less fortunate. I love that. Time, freedom, travel to provide opportunities for my kids. This is Facebook users, big why. I would no longer have to live paycheck by paycheck to be able to do things with my family. All right. I'm already retired, but I would love to add to my portfolio and to retire my wife and also buy our dream home. I want to learn how to be an entrepreneur. This is cool from Carlos. I always chuckle when people say, what's your why? My why is why not? I love that. That's good. Retire and supplement Social Security and less work. Awesome. Rich says, I've quit my job 3 years ago and I live on cash flow. It has freed up my time to start a couple more businesses that I enjoy. I love that. Time with my family. It's reliable, steady cash flow so that I can safely retire. Financial and time freedom. Build a retirement lifestyle, income, and legacy for our children. get out of debt. I have an estate, need money. I quit my 9-to-5 land flipping, and I need it to work. Boom. All right, so there's so much good stuff here. I want you guys to just be thinking about this, because if you've got to write it down. If you don't write it down, these comments. Sorry, hold on. Facebook user. Okay, you've got to write down your big why, and if it's not written down, you're going to struggle to get to it. Now, you've kind of gotten the objections of why this wouldn't work written down. Just get that out of your system. Then you've written down what you want your life to look like, what your big why is. It's time freedom, spending time with your family. That's all great and awesome. But here's the problem. Up here in your head, you don't really believe that you can do this. And I want to do everything I can to help you right now. Get that out of your head. There's two things I want you to really, really think about right now. This is so important. Number one, you have to believe this stuff works. And then number two, you have to believe that it'll work for you. It's one thing to I know, I get it. This is where I was back in, and I'm going to tell you my story here. This is where I was back in 2006 and 7 and 8. For 2 or 3 years, I was a professional student. I kind of intellectually believed that it worked, but I didn't believe it could work for me. I had this thing going on in my head. It was that couldn't work for me. It works for all those other guys. It works for those guys that you see on in the boot camps. I would go to hear the speakers speak, and they would be sharing all of these pictures of checks of other students that have done deals, and I was happy for them, but I didn't believe really that it would work for me. I don't know why. Looking back, it was I don't know why. Is this something that maybe I'm just not made for? Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe it doesn't work in my market. Maybe, that stuff that they're teaching used to work a year ago, 2 years ago. And I was that guy who would always look at the checks really carefully, on those testimonials to see what the date was. Was it 2 years ago? Oh, then it was, I'd throw it out. Oh, that's stupid. Or I'd look at the testimonials. How long ago was it that this happened? And then I would get excited, if it was within the last month or two, oh, this guy is legit. Well, whatever, But for some reason, I had this thing in my head, just this nagging doubt that it works for them, but it doesn't work for me. I kind of believed it worked. I spent a lot of money on this education stuff, but would it really work for me? And I remember so clearly my first deal, and I've told this story lots of times. I had a lot of doubt. I had a ton of what-if questions. I was a big yeah butter. And I want to challenge you guys, don't be a yeah butter. So I had bought the courses, spent tons of money on education, and I was still struggling. I was taking and kind of mixing and matching. I'd find one guy's course, and I'd buy that, and then I'd buy another course and try to mix them up together. And I had a hard time really just picking one strategy and going with it, because I felt like I had to be doing multiple things. In case one didn't work, I had to do this and I had to do that. So I was trying to do cash wholesaling deals for houses. I was trying to do short sales. I was trying to do fix and flip, buy and hold, all these different things. And I was really struggling. And because I was struggling, because I wasn't focused, I started having doubts. And then with my engineering brain thinking, okay, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if the seller says no and gets mad at me? All right. What if I look like an idiot? What if the seller says yes, and then I don't know what I'm doing, and then I'm going to look like a bigger idiot because then I'm going to be offering too much, or the deal's going to fall apart because I couldn't actually close on it because I didn't have a buyer for it. All of these what ifs, or yeah, but I couldn't do this because the market is too hot. There's too much competition. The market is too cold. It's a seller's market. It's a buyer's market. One time I was talking to some students, and this is funny. Let's see if I can get, I'm just switching cameras around here. One time I was talking to two students in Denver, Colorado. This was maybe 7-8 years ago. And I was talking to these two students and at different times within a 1 or 2 day window, okay? First guy said, I have buyers, but I don't have any sellers. I've got tons of buyers looking for deals, But there's nobody that wants to sell their deals. Denver's too competitive. It's too difficult, too hard to do deals here. And this doesn't work. And so one of the first things I did is, he said he has buyers, but no sellers. So nobody would sell their deals. I said, really? Yeah. And he said, all right, well, let's look. And I went into ListSource. I looked in the last 90 days, and I showed him how many investor transactions happened in the last 90 days. Where there are no deals, I showed him hundreds of deals that happened in the last 90 days. Maybe it was over 1,000, I forget. Of somebody was buying these deals, and these were good deals. And when I showed him the data, he was blown away by that. All right, then the next day, another student I was talking to him from Denver was saying, listen, I got tons of sellers, but no buyers. This doesn't work. I can find the leads all day long, but nobody wants them. Wow, this doesn't work. I said, oh, wait a minute. Are you serious? You got lots of sellers? Yeah, I got lots of leads, but no buyers. Nobody wants to buy them. They all want any buyers that do have, they want them cheaper than what I've got them and all of this stuff. I said, well, okay. You need to talk to so-and-so. One guy's name was Jason. The other guy's, I forget. So I put these two guys together. I said, listen, you guys need to talk to each other because there's a lot of opportunity. One of you has buyers, the other one doesn't. One of you has sellers, the other one doesn't. So do you understand what I'm going at here? They had something going on in their head. They're like, yeah, but this doesn't work because of XYZ, all those objections that you listed before. My friends told me I can't do this. I went to the local real estate club and they told me, no, you can't do that. That's illegal, immoral, and fattening. You talk to an attorney, you talk to a title company, you talk to somebody on a big Facebook group or Bigger Pockets or someone. They're like, no, you can't do that. That's illegal. Or if you do this, you're going to get in trouble or what, like stupid stuff. First of all, why are you taking advice from broke people? Number two, why are you taking advice from people that have never done deals before? Number three, why are you taking advice on land deals from somebody who's never done land deals? They've only done house deals, and vice versa. Why are you taking advice about houses from somebody who's only done land? Why are you taking advice from people about how hard marketing is from somebody who doesn't do it, from somebody that's not doing it well? You understand? You picking up what I'm laying down? You smelling what I'm stepping in? All right. Listen, you've got these doubts. You've got these what ifs. Check them out. Get rid of them. All right. You are so much better than this. So when I was like struggling and thinking, all right, how am I going to do? First of all, my back was against the wall. I was hemorrhaging cash. I was losing my house to a short sale. I was going to go into foreclosure. We were working on a short sale. I had lost a bunch of deals. I had bought some subject to deals, and I bought them all wrong. They didn't have enough equity, or they're negative equity, and I was hemorrhaging cash, losing money. I borrowed a bunch of debt from banks, from private lenders, taking over mortgages and stuff like that. And so I was hemorrhaging cash. I couldn't even pay my own mortgage. I needed a way out. I needed to figure out how to make this work. So I said, all right, I'm going to stop asking questions. I'm going to stop asking. I remember so clearly where I was. I was on my driveway. My kids were riding their bikes in the cul-de-sac in front. I knew we were losing this house. I was really discouraged and I didn't know what to do. So I said, I'm going to stop asking because first of all, I knew I needed to learn wholesaling. I needed to learn how to make quick cash. Buying subject twos, doing lease options a little bit at the time, rehabbing, buy and holds, like that was not going to give me cash. I needed cash now, not cash later. So I was like, well, this wholesaling stuff, it doesn't work for me. But I got to a point where I was like, I've got to find a way to make it work. I don't have a choice. I've got to make this work or I am in big, big trouble. So I started thinking about what do I need to do? So I decided I'm going to buy one more course and I'm just going to do what the guy says to do. And I'm not going to question anything or change anything. I'm going to stop asking what if or saying, yeah, but, and I'm going to start asking what next. I want you to write this down, guys. Stop asking what if and start asking what next. What next? I suspended my doubts and disbelief for just a little bit. And this is about 3 or 4 years into my real estate journey. All right. I just said, I am going to I'm going to suspend disbelief, and I'm going to focus on what if this actually does work. All right? Not what if this happens, what if that happens, or what if this, what if I can't find a buyer? What if I can't find the cash? What if I make a stupid offer and I look like an idiot? What if I go to jail? What if I get in trouble with the realtor license police, right? So anyway, I stopped asking what if, I started asking what next. So I bought Chris Chico's course. At the time, it was called Absentee Owner Profits. It's this program that just taught how to send postcards to absentee owners. Man, and I had all these doubts. No, man, listen, even back then, and this was 2008, I think, even back then it was like, man, everybody's sending mail to absentee owners. Everybody's sending these stupid postcards. There's too much competition out there. This was way back then. Everybody's complaining about the same things today. It hasn't changed. It really hasn't. It's just as competitive back then as it is now. And some of you may not believe me, but it was. Okay? This won't work for me. It works for someone else. It works for all those guys I see holding pictures of checks, checks on their picture. But it won't work for me. But I said, you know what? Screw it. Everything else I've tried hasn't worked. I'm going to do what Chris Chico says to do, and I'm not going to change it, question it, ask what if, or yeah, but. And guess what happened? I sent out his postcards, even though I didn't like them. I thought they were unprofessional. I thought they were ugly. I thought they were going to make a lot of people mad. I sent out his postcards, started getting calls. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm getting calls now. Now what do I do? So then I started talking to sellers. This one seller had a property about 30, 45 minutes away from where I lived out in the country, about an hour outside of St. Louis, downtown St. Louis, about an hour and a half. And she called me and was begging me to make an offer on her property. I told her no. I said, no, I can't do it. It's too far away. She literally begged me to make an offer on her house. And I said no. And finally, after her calling me about 3 times, thank God she did. All right, she called me about 3 times. I said, okay, fine. I looked up the property, and I couldn't find any comps on this thing. This was a 3-family in a small little town where there was only single-family homes and maybe a couple big apartment buildings, but nothing. I couldn't get comps from there. I didn't have any buyers from there, and this wasn't the area where I was actually mailing to. I was trying to get deals in this other area. Well, anyway, it had expired the year before for $120,000. And I said, I just pulled a number out of, you know what? I just pulled it. And I said, I can maybe offer you 50. And she said, okay, fine. And I said, excuse me? I said, really? She said, yeah, $50,000. When can I sign the paperwork? I said, all right. And she was elderly. She was elderly at the time. And so I asked her, do you have any kids, somebody or a family member that can, and she said, yeah, I got my son. I said, great. And I was so nervous. I was like, I wanted to meet her in a public place, and I wanted one of her kids to be with her so that I wouldn't be accused of, taking advantage of an elderly lady and whatnot. So she knew where the YMCA was in this one town. So I said, all right, I'll meet you at the YMCA. And she said, I need earnest money deposit. I said, okay, well, how much do you need? She said, $1,000. I said, okay. So I actually got $1,000 in cash and earnest money and gave it to her, which is never do that. Okay. Never give cash for earnest money deposits. So I met her there. Her son was there. And I spent 3 hours trying to write up the contract. I was so nervous. I added a ton of contingencies in there. I had so many contingencies in there. They probably canceled each other out. And I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh. And I felt like I had to know everything. She was going to ask questions about all this stuff. So I studied the contract. I had all of these questions figured out, or answers figured out for any potential questions she would have for this contract. Finally sat down with her, and she's like, oh, great. Thanks. And she signed it without even looking at it. $50,000. I'm making her an offer for $50,000. I still don't know how much it's worth. It was expired the year before for $120,000. And I said, why do you want to sell this? She says, I just need the money because this property was inherited. She didn't even have leases on the 3 tenants that were in there. The tenants paid cash week to week. She'd have to go knock on their doors. They didn't have phones. She would knock on their doors to get the cash. This place was beat up. I couldn't see the inside of it. So I was like, I didn't know what I was doing, but okay, I'm just going to make an offer anyway. And I asked her son, I said, is this okay with you? And he's all, yeah, dude, whatever. It's like, oh, okay, thanks. So I gave her the $1,000 earnest money, and which you never do, by the way. You give earnest money as a check to the title company. You don't give cash to the seller. But I said, oh, now what am I going to do? I was so scared. What am I going to do now? So I went to Chris Chico's course. He said, put a sign in the yard. Like, okay. So I never even went to look at this place, by the way, either. I had a friend go look at it because I had my full-time job. And I said, hey, listen, if you help me with this thing, I'll pay you 20% or something of the deal. So he put a sign in the yard. And the next day, or that day, started getting phone calls. And the first call that I took was from a realtor. Then I'm thinking, oh no, a realtor is going to be involved. The realtor is going to ruin this whole deal. I said, oh no. So and I was like, he called and I said, hi. And he said, can I ask you some questions about this property? I said, sure. Well, what kind of condition is it in? I don't know. I've never seen it. What are the leases? I don't know what the leases are. Do you have the leases? No, I don't. I don't know anything. It probably needs a lot of work. And I told him, I said, these tenants pay cash every week. They don't have telephones. You can't schedule the time to go see the property. The lady doesn't even have keys to these doors. He's like, oh, by the way, I got it under contract for $50, and I was going to try to sell it for $65. And he said, oh, all right, well, I represent this buyer who wants it. And I said, oh, no. First thing I was thinking is this deal is toast now. There's no way, because I don't even own it yet. I said to the realtor, I got to confess something here. I don't even own this property yet. I just kind of have it under contract. I hope that's okay. And I don't know what I'm doing. And I think I might have even joked with the guy. And I might have even said, like, I bought some late night infomercial, and I just sent out some postcards, and this lady called me, and I made an offer, and I don't know. And he's like, dude, relax. Don't worry about it. It's okay. My buyer's very interested. It's a very good price. And we're going to go drive by it, and I'll call you back. The guy called me like an hour later and said, where can I send the contract for $65,000? I said, well, don't. I'm literally stuttering here because I said, don't you want to see the property? I don't have leases. Is everything? He said, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right. Now I don't have a title company. What am I going to do? Because I don't know. He said, well, you just use ours. I said, okay, this is a small little town. I'm like, do they even have title companies out there? So he gave me the name and number of his title company that his investor uses. And I called the title company up because I said, I want them to know. I don't want to be like caught with my pants around my ankles or whatever. I felt like I was going to be exposed for this crazy lunatic weirdo. And I said to the title company, listen, I got to explain how this is working here. I don't actually own this property. I just have it under contract, and I hope it's okay. I bought it under contract for $50, and I'm selling it for $65, and I don't know if that's too much profit. And the title company's like, dude, relax. It's okay. I remember this so clearly. The buyer's paying cash. It's not a big deal. And I was like, oh my gosh. So everything's all right? Yeah. Well, anyway, turns out everything was fine. I don't remember if I double closed or I did an assignment, but I didn't use any of my own money. The buyer brought the money. Somehow the title company just took care of it because it was a good deal. And I made like $12,000 or $13,000 in profits on these things. My friend is texting me right now. Hold on a second here, because I was supposed to have a call with him. Sorry, man. Okay. So, did the deal. So what's my point in telling you all of that? When I finally got that check, and it wasn't even a check, it was a wire to my bank account or something like that. I was like, oh my gosh, this actually works. It actually works. I can sell contracts. I can sell assigned paperwork. I can make $13,000 on a deal. There are actually motivated sellers out there that will sell their properties at a discount. There are actually buyers that will buy these things from me, even though I don't own them yet. There's actually realtors I can work with and let me wholesale deals. There's actually title companies that will let me do this stuff. It's not illegal. I'm not going to go to jail. I don't have to have my realtor's license. This actually works. I'm that guy now that can hold the check or the HUD statement on these testimonials, on these pictures that these gurus are showing. I'm that guy. This actually works. And it actually works for me. I was so blown away. This is, guys, after like I had done deals before. Like I'd bought deals from the bank or I'd taken over subject twos or whatever. But I'd never done this kind of a deal, made this kind of fast cash. I felt like, is this too good to be true? And it's not. It actually works. And it works for me. And I want you guys to have that mindset. I want you to believe. Get it in your head. I don't know how. Sometimes you've got to actually do a deal to get it into your thick noggin that it actually will work. But I want you guys to say this right now. Say it out loud or write it down. This will work, and this will work for me. I choose today, I choose right now to believe that this will work for me. I want you to write it down. I'm looking at the Zoom chat here. I know I'm way over time. Not complaining. Appreciate that. I'm just so passionate and excited about this. I feel like this is very important for you guys to understand. Thank you. Fantastic story. So come on, write it down. I want to see the chats. Maybe the chat. Oh, here it goes. It does work, and it's worked for me for over 20 years. This will work for me. Bam. My comments are slow here and not updating. I might use a different platform. Here we go. This will, and this will work for me. This will work for me. This will work, and it'll work for me. Okay, I love it. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up because I am longer than normal. Trust me, in the future, my little mindset things will be much shorter. My apologies, but I appreciate you all. Now, if you are part of the Land Marketing Bootcamp, if you go to, if you're not part of the Land Marketing Bootcamp, it's still open. You go to the landmarketingbootcamp.com, landmarketingbootcamp.com, and you can sign up there. And if you are part of it already, in the private Facebook group at, if I'm looking at my calendar right, at 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, I will be back in the Facebook group teaching, number one, how to find the good markets. All right, day 2, I'm going to be talking about how to get the list of sellers in those markets. And day number 3, I'm going to be talking about how to send them marketing, free marketing, cheap marketing, and premium marketing. And then day number 4, I'm going to be talking about making fast offers. And I got some cool software to show you. And day number 5, I'm going to be showing you how to get the money, where all the money from this thing is, okay? Thanks for the kind words. I choose today to believe that this works, and it will work for me. No apologies needed. Why won't this thing come up? Sorry. There you go. No apologies. Time and money. You are giving us gems. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, it really does work. I believe this will work, and it'll work for me. I love it. Okay. Got to wrap this up. I'll see you guys soon in a little bit in the Facebook group, landmarketingbootcamp.com. In the Facebook group, I will be back in about an hour teaching you day 1 session. All right. Appreciate you all. Again, if you're not part of this yet, go to landmarketingbootcamp.com and sign up for it. Appreciate you guys.